Aloha everyone, Mr. Mitchell here. Let's go over writing equations for the part practice B. This is really a test practice. Writing equations, a very highly applied area of mathematics. But let's get into this. So we're going to start off here on number 1. And first thing I want you to notice, we have a slope of 0. Don't forget that is telling us it is a horizontal line. My computer's lagging a little bit here today. So I got the point -3, 2 on here. Slope of 0 is horizontal. That means it's going to look like that. Our format for a horizontal line is y equals k. If you notice, it intersects the y-axis. Any point on here, the y value is the same, so y is constant. And I'm going to get that value for y from the y value in the coordinate, and that's going to go in here. Don't forget this is our x and our y. And so we're just going to have y equals -2, and that's it. That's how we get our answer for that first one. Okay, on to number 3. This time, if you notice, we have an undefined slope. That means we have a vertical line. So if I go to this graph up here, 4, 3, something right about there. I know it's past that little arrow. We can extend that sucker a little bit. Darn it. Let's just extend that. Get rid of that. Okay, so that line would be looking something like this. I didn't want that color. This screen lag is driving me nuts. But I've already restarted this a couple times. Don't want to start it again. So our vertical line is, notice it's hitting the x-axis here. Right there. So we're going to use our x value. We have the form x equals k for any vertical line. So again, we're just going to plug that in here. And we're going to have x equals 4. And that's our answer. Don't be forgetting to check your answers, kids, and use these to help figure out what you understand. And you don't get something right, ask about it. My answers are down at the bottom. Y equals -2, x equals 4. And then when you do those, get that red pen out, mark them correct. And I expect to see things marked wrong too. Make the corrections, identify why you made something. You can try numbers 4 and 2 on your own. They're pretty much the same thing. And let's go on to the next one. Okay, let's move on to numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well, these ones we're going to use slope-intercept form. Let's go here. Y equals mx plus b. Don't forget m is your slope. B equals your y-intercept. These are things that do need to be memorized, or you can put them on a note card. Don't forget you can use the note cards for the test. Also, you should be putting these, I haven't talked about this enough in class, putting these into your journal at school. Take the journal, put them into your notebook so you can take these notes home, have it look at. You've got your slope-intercept form here. You've also got your standard form and your point-slope form, which we don't use as much anymore. It is in the book. And carry these notes. You don't have to put the examples in there, but those are good practice. You can get those done to justify retaking a test. I do have scrambled answers on a lot of these. A little more work on this one than I would prefer to show, but oh well. Try them on your own, then look at these. Remember, you want to know if you know how to do it. But you got your slope-intercept form. M is slope, B is y-intercept. And let's go back to the page we were on right here. So I recommend on this, slope, that's m. Y-intercept, that's b. Remember, y equals mx plus b. I see too few people writing this. So that's going to be y equals 3 over 2 is my slope, x, and then plus 5. Remember, when you have a minus, you don't want to have plus minus 2, plus a negative 2, or minus 2, one of those. Plus minus doesn't make sense. That's like me telling you you did good bad on that. Which are you talking about? Okay. Notice I got a little trick on number 7. You got a slope of 0. Okay. And that's relating to these ones up here. So don't forget about that. That's a little trick thrown in there for you. Pay attention to that. That's my final answer. And no, that didn't take a lot of steps. You can do it. So I didn't check my answer on that one. Let's take a look. 3/2 x plus 5. And it looked good. Okay, 9 to 12, again, we're doing the same thing. We're writing the equation of a line, slope-intercept form. So again, we're using our, what color should we go this time? Let's go orange. Y equals mx plus b. Except this time you're not given the slope. You got to find the slope. So my slope is m. My y-intercept equals b. I'll write that all out. Intercept equals b, which in this case I can see is this point right there where it hits the y-axis. That's 1, so I have a positive 1 on that. That's where I got that. Now, our slope. When I do slope, so I'm going to zoom in on this. I'm looking at this point like right here, because that's right on the intersection. I'm not going to use this one. It's not on the intersection, not on the intersection, not on the intersection. This one's on the intersection. My next one would be down here. Well, first off, I should recognize that this is a negative slope. I should get a negative answer. And slope, don't forget, rise over run. Though rise can be up or down, run can be left or right. I always start at the left point, go to the right point. I do my rise first. So I'm going to go this way. That's a -3 movement. Then I'm going to go this way. That's a +4 movement on it. And consistency on this helps, and check it. So that's going to give me -3 over 4. Can't reduce it, so we're looking pretty good right there. Now I've got all my information, and it's just putting it again into that y equals mx plus b, which is going to be y equals, we have -3/4 x plus 1, and there is our answer for that. So you're just doing it right off the graph. Again, notice we have a horizontal line for number 10. Is this slope equals 0 or undefined? Take a look at those notes. Take a look at 1, 2, 3, and 4. Figure it out. We can get that one way right away. Negative intercepts on 11 and 12. And that pretty much takes us through that. Ooh, 13 and 14, we got a little bit more. Notice you got a vertical line on number 13 coming in there. So we've got to get that done up to 14. I need to make a note on my notes. And that's getting the equation from a graph. Okay, on to the next batch, 15 to 18. We're flying along. You're doing great. Keep up the good work. Thanks for the time you're putting in. Appreciate you checking out the video, making it worth my while to make this. Similar thing here again, too, on write the slope-intercept form of the equation through the given point with the given slope. So we're doing pretty much the same thing we did before. Give or take something. Y equals mx plus b. Our slope is equal to m. And we know that right away. We're given that. That's 3/5. Our y-intercept, or b, I usually write int for intercept. B, we don't know what that is. We have to find it. So this is how we do it. And this is a fairly regular process that we do. It happens a lot. The more you go through it, you'll get down and get used to doing it with the steps. So this is going to be x, this is going to be y. Again, we're using y equals mx plus b. And we're going to plug in our stuff here. Y is 1. Just getting that from right there. Equals 3/5. That's coming from right here. Okay. And our x is going to be right there that we're going to put in. Where's my green? So that's going to be 5 and then plus b. And we got to go and find that. Let's get rid of these. They make it a little harder to see when I'm working that. Whoops. We can put our x and y back there. So this is 5 over 1. 5 and 5 reduced to 1 and 1. You can multiply these out differently. I do recommend learning how to reduce fractions. 1 equals 3 over 1, or just plain 3, plus b, minus 3 minus 3, negative 2 equals b. So now I don't have that question mark anymore. I know it's negative 2. And again, it's back to y equals mx plus b. Putting in, your slope and your y-intercept. Okay? So that's going to be y equals 3/5 x. And I'm going to go minus 2 on this one. Remember, you could also equal 3/5 x plus a negative 2. You can't have that plus minus there right next to each other, though. Be careful with that. But that's my answer there. Let's go check it for number 15. Y equals 3/5 x plus negative 2. Yep, there we go. I see it. Got my answer. It's looking good. Oops, that's not my red pen. It said I was on my red pen. There it goes. And we got the answer. Same thing going on in these other ones. Practice them on your own. Practice makes perfect. Keep giving it a shot. You can get it. Believe in yourselves. Where'd everything go? There it is. So if you notice on this, we started writing our equations. We were given the slope and the intercept. Then we had to find those from the graphs. We had to start finding some of that information. Then we had the point and a slope. Had to find some of the information, had it. Here, we got 2 points. We don't have the point or the slope. So we're going to have to find both our slope and our y-intercept here. So I think I'm going to start over here on this one. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is going to be my x2, y2, x1, y1. You can call it x. You can call this x1, y1 if you want, and this x2, y2. Works out the same. This is going to give me negative 2 minus 3 over 0 minus 2, which is negative 5 over negative 2. So my slope is going to equal 5 over 2. Negative over negative is positive, don't forget. Now I can use either one of these points for my x1, y1. Doesn't matter. You know what? I almost forgot about this. You know what? I'm going to use this one because this gives me my y-intercept. This is a little cheater method. I just noticed that, ooh, they got it over here too. Do they have it on all of these? Not all of them. But don't forget, if x equals 0, y is the intercept. So you can do it the way we did the previous ones. I'm going to take advantage of this. That's my y-intercept, 0, negative 2. That's right on the y-axis. You think about it, I don't go, this is x, this is y. 0 means I don't go left or right. Negative 2 means I go down 2, right on the y-axis. And now it's just like the last one. I got my slope, so this is going to be y equals mx plus b. Y equals 5 over 2x. And then I'm going to have minus 2. Remember, you can have that plus a negative 2. Let's go check it. 19. Y equals 5x minus 2. There it is, looking good. I'm using my red pen on this one, so I'm going to use my Goldie to check it. I like to change colors when I work. These ones, notice you don't have that y-intercept given to you, so you're going to have to go up here and do the same steps we did on 15 and plug in one of those points to get your answer. You'll see it on the next one too. So that takes us through 19 to 20. Again, really quick, I'll just show this. If you would have used the y equals mx plus b here, and I use this for my, why am I not writing? Okay, my pen, my computer's freezing up here. X and y, I put that in, negative 2 equals 5 over 2 times 0 plus b. Negative 2 equals 0 plus b. Negative 2 equals b. And you can see I got that right in there. But it's extra work because I can see that number right there. Sometimes studying saves you work. 23 to 28. So we got some differences here. Perpendicular, perpendicular on a few of these. Parallel on a couple of them. So we don't have our slope yet. We got to figure out the slope we're going to use. We do have a point. We don't know the y-intercept. At least on most of these, doesn't look like we know the y-intercept. This is a trick question here on number 24. Right there, equation x equals 0. Go back to numbers 1 to 4. What does an x equals look like? Vertical or horizontal? Remember, the horizontal and vertical are perpendicular to each other, so that's a little trick question there. But let's look at 23 here. Let's go back to green. M equals, this is my original slope, negative 1/4. Getting that from this line right here. The negative 1/4 is the M. Now remember, perpendicular slope, opposite and reciprocal. So the opposite is going to be 1/4. That's my opposite. My reciprocal, flip it over, 4/1, which is just 4. So perpendicular slope is 4. Okay, now again we're going to the y equals mx plus b. This is my x, this is my y. This is the slope I'm going to use. I know it says m here, but you got to choose the slope. Choose the right slope. We're doing a perpendicular line, so you choose the perpendicular slope. So I'm going to have y is 3 equals slope is 4. X is 1 plus b. 3 equals 4 plus b minus 4. Negative 1 is equal to b. So I got my slope. I got my y-intercept, just like we've done before. Again, I'm going to use my y equals mx plus b. I need to make this bigger, sorry. So that's going to be y equals 4x minus 1. And there's my answer. 24, 5, and 6 are done the same way. Let's check it really quick. 23, y equals 4x minus 1. We're looking awesome. I made several mistakes earlier on this on the first 2 problems, but I restarted the video, so you don't get to see me making the mistakes today. Sorry. Number 28. I don't think I want, let's see, number 28. Oh, okay. Parallel. So similar process to what we did before. My original slope is -6. So my parallel slope is also -6. Remember, parallel lines, same slope. This is what I'm going to use for the problem. So now it's just back in, plug it into y equals mx plus b. Getting boring, we've done this a lot. But if you're doing it with me, you're going to start getting this down. You're going to start remembering if you don't already. There's my x, there's my y. So I have -2 equals -6 times -4 plus b. -2 equals 24 plus b. Minus 24 minus 24. -26 is equal to b, my y-intercept. Again, putting this into y equals mx plus b. Y equals -6, that's my parallel slope, x minus 26. There's my answer. Looks good. And we got it. And we're on our last problem here, number 30. Okay, and 29. So I'm going to do number 30. 29 is a little simpler problem. I want to show you some steps on 30. Try it with me. Use the pause button before you watch. Don't just copy the answers. Look what I'm doing. Listen to what I say. Try it before you see the answer. See if you can get it. Let's go gold. So we're given standard form here. This is ax plus by. Yeah. by equals c. We want slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. So we basically need to get the y alone. So I want to get the y alone. Minus 9x, minus 9x to each side. That leaves me 4y equals -9x minus 24. Now, I could have written it -24 minus 9x, but if I look at mx plus b, that's not the way it's written. We write the x term first, the constant second. So I want to have that same format set up here when I do that. And now I've got to divide by 4 to get the y alone. I divide by 4. These reduce out. It leaves 1y, which is just y. And then remember, you got to divide the -4, or the 4, into both parts. So I'm going to get, where's my gold? There we are. -9 over 4x minus 24 over 4. But I can simplify this just a little bit. Y equals -9 over 4x minus 24 divided by 4 is 6. You will always see that reduced. This might be right. You haven't made any mistakes, but you haven't finished it yet. We do need to recognize 4 goes into 24. And let's check this out. -4/9, so we got it right down there, so you can see it was just off the screen. I don't know why this won't. There it is. And we got that right. And we're done. I know this is a longer video. Thank you for sticking around. I hope this helps. The most important thing is you are working and you are trying. Keep it up. As long as you're working to improve, I'm happy. You're making your parents happy. Probably making yourself happy too. Thanks for your time. You have a good day. Time for me to go to bed. It's kind of late at night. Had a few false starts on this. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow.